Sister Wives Kody Brown gets emotional, cries over his bestie. Sister Wives star, Kody Brown generally tries to keep up appearances. Oftentimes, he emphasizes his masculine side, but sometimes he wears his heart on his sleeve. In a clip, he shows his sensitive side when he gets emotional and cries over his bestie. Kody Brown kept many emotions bottled up. Undeniably, the brotherhood Kody Brown grew up with provided a sense of security unmatched in any of his relationships. While Kody was intimate with 4 wives, Meri, Janelle, Cristin, and Robyn Brown, he admits he never had a love like he found with Robyn. But in some ways, he was closed off by the rules of his religion. Seemingly, he needed to be the strong man in the family to carry the burdens of his wife and children. With the ingrained constructs, he often had a difficult time opening up, and even shared his shame over losing his virginity prematurely. However, he never felt comfortable enough with some of his wives to breach the subject he was trained to hide. Early years, he had the arrogance and energy to believe he could manage the family by closing off his emotions. Oftentimes, his efforts were lost as anger would bubble up and take over. However, as time went on, he became lonely even with the presence of many family members around him. Now, fans see a window into his past after watching him get emotional and cry over his bestie. He gets emotional and cries over his bestie. On Reddit, Sister Wives fans discuss how Kody Brown can be rather sensitive at times. Growing up in the church, he was essentially surrounded by a boys' club comprised of his best buds. First, a user says, Kody losing his virginity. Then they add, I know he said the incident in college was with a person instead of woman. Egg, if the timeline matches up for these two, Kody just seems very attached to his friend Brett in earlier seasons. Just him saying that Brett leaving his wedding to Robyn, his favorite, made him feel lonely as crazy. Then they added a clip from an earlier season that showed Kody excited to enter marriage, however almost mourning the loss of his youthful interaction with his bestie, Brett. Notably, he seems to reminisce over a time when he had far less responsibility and could simply hang out with his friends. Unmistakably, they had a close bond and Kody was sad to see him leave. One fan points out, crying over missing another man on his wedding night and showing more emotion here than for his 3 failed marriages and broken relationships with the majority of his children. Kody is insane for this. Another viewer jokes, he didn't even cry like that when Robyn died and came back from COVID 3 times. Someone else objects, I'm going to preface this statement that I'm adamantly not a fan of Kody/Robyn or any of these people in general. However, if the situation was reversed and it was 2 female besties, I don't think there would be anywhere near this level of speculation about someone's sexuality. Lone Wolf Kody Brown. Seemingly, Kody Brown grew up in a religion that put many men on pedestals. Furthermore, it made it easy for him to strive to be a man's man. However, even after securing a life with Meri, Janelle, Cristin, and Robyn Brown, and fathering many children, fans notice Kody still feels lonely. Another user points out, it is a fantastic thing for men to have close, intimate platonic relationships with other men. For me, it's the fact that Kody has so much misogyny that surrounded by his 4 wives and double-digit amount of children, he describes himself as lonely. If he truly saw his wives as full human beings, as his equals, he might be sad to see his bestie leave, but I don't think he would tear up and describe the moment as lonely. This is just a side effect of Kody being a tool that doesn't think of women as human beings. This sub can definitely be as you described, I just think this isn't at all an example of wholesome masculinity. Typical male narc, only emotional over men he seeks validation from. The level of secondhand embarrassment I feel whenever they show clips of Kody acting like a massive, desperate dork seeking validation from other males is unmatched. FSS Buddy, Brown, the once confident patriarch of the Brown family on Sister Wives, sat on the couch, visibly struggling to hold back tears. It was a side of him that viewers rarely saw. Known for his bravado, quick opinions, and sometimes unapologetic demeanor, Kody now appeared vulnerable. His emotions spilled over as he spoke about someone he referred to as his bestie. It's hard for me, Kody admitted, his voice breaking. He wiped his eyes with a tissue, a rare act of vulnerability. I've been through so much with my family, but this feels different. Losing that connection, that person who gets you, is like losing a piece of yourself. The cameras panned to the other wives, or rather, what remained of them. Cristin, now engaged to David Woolley, watched with a mix of skepticism and pity from her seat. Janelle's arms were crossed, her lips pursed in frustration. Robin, seated closest to Kody, gently rubbed his back in support, while Mary maintained her characteristic neutrality, though her clenched jaw suggested otherwise. The bestie in question, not one of his wives or children, as many might assume, but a longtime friend and confidant named Jerry. Jerry had been part of Kody's life long before the cameras started rolling. He was Kody's sounding board, a golf buddy, and, as Kody described it, the person who kept me grounded. Jerry was there for me during some of the darkest moments, Kody explained, his voice thick with emotion. When Cristin left, when things got tense with Janelle, he'd remind me to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. He'd tell me when I was being unreasonable. He'd call me out when no one else would. Cristin raised an eyebrow, clearly unimpressed. Maybe Jerry should have told you to stop playing favorites, she muttered under her breath, earning a sharp glance from Janelle. Robin, ever the peacemaker, shot Cristin a reproachful look. This isn't the time for that, she whispered. Kody's tears continued to flow as he shared the reason for his grief. Jerry had recently moved out of Flagstaff to be closer to his own grandchildren in Texas. The departure, though amicable, had left a noticeable void in Kody's life. The show's producers decided to delve deeper into the impact of Jerry's absence. In a one-on-one interview, Kody described Jerry as the glue that held me together when everything else was falling apart. I know people see me as the head of this big family, this big, complicated unit, but even I need someone to lean on, Kody said. Jerry was that for me. He didn't judge me. He didn't take sides. He just listened. The producers also interviewed the wives, each offering their perspective on Kody's relationship with Jerry. Cristin's response was blunt, as expected. Jerry was a good friend to Kody, sure, but maybe Kody relied on him too much instead of fixing the problems in our family. Janelle's take was more measured. I think Jerry gave Kody a place to vent, and that's fine. But sometimes I wonder if Jerry's advice enabled Kody to double down on behaviors that hurt the rest of us. Robin, predictably, was the most sympathetic. I think Jerry was one of the few people Kody felt truly understood him. It's hard to lose someone like that. We all needed Jerry in our lives. Mary, in her usual enigmatic style, gave a cryptic response. Maybe this is a wake-up call for Kody. Maybe losing Jerry will make him realize who else he's been pushing away. As the episode continued, viewers were treated to flashbacks of Jerry and Kody's friendship over the years. There were clips of them laughing over a round of golf, debating the merits of polygamy, and sharing beers on Kody's porch. These moments painted a picture of a bond that was genuine and deeply rooted. But as with most things in the Brown family, the ripple effects of Kody's grief didn't stay contained. The emotional upheaval brought other tensions to the surface. In a family meeting, Kody tried to express how much Jerry's absence had affected him. I feel like I've lost a brother, Kody said, looking around the room. And it's made me realize how much I need to work on the relationships I still have. Cristin's patience finally snapped. You're just now realizing that. After everything we've been through? She demanded. You've spent so much energy on Jerry, on Robin, on everything else except this family. And now you're crying because he's gone. What about the rest of us who've been here this whole time? Kody looked taken aback. This isn't about you, Cristin. Exactly, Cristin shot back. That's the problem. It's never about us.